Welcome to episode 21 of the 2A Procast. Today we got a special episode where we actually are going to recognize all of those who've stayed with us along this way and listened to the chicanery. And we are actually going to listen to you now and go through and read a bunch of comments today and questions and answer those comments and questions in this entire podcast. So if you have ever commented or ever left a question in any of the comments, and even if you haven't, and this is going to be actually pretty interesting because all of the items that we're going to talk about today are directly from the listeners, which is fantastic.
Yes.
Let's get the formalities out of the way.
2A
Procast.
Welcome.
You can find us on
Discord, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, our website.
Yeah, but where can you find the podcast at?
Oh, you can find our podcast on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. You can find our podcast on Spotify and I believe Apple Podcast as well.
That's right.
Yes.
Very cool. Awesome. And if you're not in the Discord server yet, we'll leave a link down below in the descriptione, and you can go ahead and click that. And maybe or maybe not, we'll let you. No, you'll be invited in.
We do fun giveaways and stuff like that in the Discord. It's a cool group of guys and gals.
Oh, it is. It's really it's a damn good time. We actually give over the pants handies too.
It's true.
Only on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Is that the over the pants handy day?
Yeah, it's Thursday over the pants handy day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You just gotta show up and stand outside my door, line up, and you know, just kind of one at a time.
You take a number.
Just take
a number and go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, we mentioned this last time, but we got nominated for a Gundy for Video of the Year, which you can vote every day on. So go and vote for us if you want.
Please.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be really cool because I'm gonna walk you through what's gonna happen
at a slow pace, like hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
Nice.
We will go up to the stage to get this Gundy. Now, this is not for us, my friends. This is for you because if you make this happen, something epic will occur.
You're going to see the greatest troll in the history of humankind.
This is going to be. I'm telling you right now. If we are nominated, if we actually win this Video of the Year award, you will see Nolan and I walk up on this stage.
Oh, don't give away the secret of
No,
what's
I'm not gonna say what it is.
Okay.
But we will film it. And you will see it will be filmed.
Yeah.
And you will see the biggest troll in 2024 is when the awards are. So you'll see the biggest troll in 2024 ever.
I'm going to cut that out because I'm not going to.
You're going to cut that out? So he's already cut it out.
Yeah,
so you didn't even know.
Yeah.
But what you will witness is something that
you'll probably shit yourself laughing.
It will be of epic proportions. Him and I have already discussed it. It's going to be a fantastic response.
I haven't stopped laughing about it.
No, I know.
I feel like I want to tell everybody all the time.
I know.
I'm
me
like,
too.
do you know what will happen?
I know. And we'll, if we don't get nominated, we'll tell you what we were going to do. But
maybe
it's just not going to be the same.
Yeah, maybe. Well, you got to make us win.
That's right.
If you make us win, then you'll find out. And if not, well. It rests on your hands.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope.
Our future is in your hands. You are my Obi-Wan Kenobi.
All
right, so let's dig into some of these comments, questions, concerns on the 2A Procast. I'm really, what's that?
Like a steak dinner.
Like a steak dinner.
Digging in.
Oh, fucking speaking of steak dinner, dude, I went to fucking Costco last night, and believe you me, dude, check it out. You guys know Costco. I'm sure everybody's fucking aware of it. I don't know. If you guys haven't cooked, I've never in my life cooked crab or lobster. Okay. Grilled a fuck ton of steaks.
Yeah.
But last night I went down and picked up 4 fucking filet mignons, 4 lobster tails, 2 packs of crab legs, some other, accoutrements, and a partridge in a fucking pear tree.
And came out of there with a $1,500 Costco.
No, seriously. Swear to God. Really? Like that entire dinner for me and my family of 5 was like $150. But you're talking about filet mignon.
Damn.
Dude, filet mignon, lobster tails, crab.
That's incredible.
I mean, I had to cook it myself.
Right.
No big deal. But dude, lobster's easy, dude. You pull the tail out of the thing, throw it on the shell, little olive oil, salt, pepper, throw that bitch in the oven for 12 minutes. Done.
Crab legs, away from me?
Dude, crab legs, check this out. Easy as pie. Pot, boiling water, put the little steamer tray in there, throw all the fucking crabs on top of the steamer, 5 to 7 minutes, fucking done. Melt some butter, you're fucking in.
Easy as crab legs, dude.
Easy as crab legs. Filet mignon for you real red-blooded Americans out there. The filet mignon, slapped 4 of those bitches in an iron cast pan, 5 minutes one side, 5 minutes the other side. In the oven for 5 minutes at 400 degrees.
Done. Perfect.
Done.
Oh, yeah. That's the
you know
way
what
to
I'm
cook
saying?
It. With that butter base, dude.
Little butter base, dude.
Butter base.
I normally grill my meats, dude, but I realized I'm out here in California, so I got to be a bitch.
Hey,
throw that bitch in the oven. No, I just didn't want to go out there and like run the grill and run the fucking kitchen all at the same time. So I kind of did both.
We're going to start a fire right now because I'm going to argue. I love a grilled steak. Don't get me wrong. But a piping hot cast iron with butter, maybe a little rosemary and some garlic, best way to cook a steak.
Dude, it's bomb like your mom.
Yeah.
It's fucking fire.
My mom is super bomb.
All right.
She's an angel. Don't you talk about her.
Yeah, she's an angel. So, my tactical little termites. We have guys. At Mr. Kitty Cat 1337 states.
What episode is this on?
This was episode. Are these designated?
Yeah.
For episodes?
Yeah.
Okay. So this was on the last episode. Did you want to start from the very beginning episode, the very first one, or do you want to start from episode 20? Venti, Trinity. Whatever. Just what you already started on that one. I already started.
If he's listening, he's already excited.
There it is. So we'll do the most recent one first. Episode 20, family, Elon, and new products is I think what we covered. So Mr. Kitty Cat says, I may not necessarily like your gear that you sell. I'm going to stop there and say, fuck you. And on to the next one. Luke Steele, 3276. No, I'm just kidding. I may not necessarily like get fucked. I may not necessarily like the gear that you sell, but the content and what you're doing for our community is top tier and probably on par with some of the bigger names out there, like T-Rex Arms. No, he didn't say it. I'm just kidding. I hope to see you guys succeed in the future. I really appreciate everything that you guys are doing. Yeah, man, thank you. And that is not, we are not on a mission to have, every swinging dick in the United States buy our products. Yeah, we are. But the whole point, our goal, our mission, our inherent mission, if we were to stand on some sort of a foundation and say that this is what we are going to be doing for the rest of our lives, I would hope, with or without Tacticon, it is supporting, reinforcing, and perpetuating the ideals behind the Second Amendment and why it is so important to our freedom.
That is correct.
And we will always do that. Tacticon or no Tacticon. I mean, it doesn't matter. Right?
And
so I appreciate you for coming out and saying that, because some people allow their opinion of certain things, like, I don't like their products, so fuck them and their face and their family and everything they even talk about. But this guy's clearly just putting his pride to the side and being like, look, man, just being honest. I don't run your gear, but I run your podcast, so I appreciate that.
Which is really cool because, with that mission, like away from the primary mission, which falls under as a subcategory mission.
Yeah.
If you were to click like the little drop down, it would like drop down.
Yeah.
Is to which we say.
Thank you for walking.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks. Thank you for really painting the picture of what a subcategory was.
Yeah, you're welcome. But our mission with Tacticon is to get it in the hands of everybody, regardless of their budget. Like we've talked about constantly. It's the mission you set forth, which has led the charge behind this, and it's fucking awesome. And being able to do that makes it commonplace. And once it's commonplace and common use, assholes can't really go, well, these are weapons of war, or only the military should have this.
Right. So there's this, I'm a big fan of, taking action, put your money where your fucking mouth is, right? And so where Tacticon started was, hey, let's make the products and then we'll talk about what we're doing. A lot of people do it the other way around. I wouldn't say there's any right or wrong answer, but for you to fucking believe me as far as what we're doing, it's hot in here. You want me to leave? No. Okay.
Maybe a little bit.
That'll cool things off. Man, I'm just saying. If I want you guys to fucking believe that about who I am and what I'm doing and believe the words that are coming out of my mouth, I feel like I would have needed to do something to have you believe me, right? And the something that I did was I tried to build a company and a culture here at Tacticon around the fact that we are trying to supply everybody with affordable equipment. So doing it and then coming out and saying, here's what we represent, I think is really important, because then people are going to be like, yeah, well, fucking of course. And I think we had to do that actually sooner than I really even anticipated. And I didn't even plan on coming out and doing this and being so kind of out in the open in public with our mission. But what was happening was our brand was being degraded pretty heavily, because people were like, oh, it's only this amount of money, it must suck. I get it. There's that perceived value. Right. But I had to come out and just say, look, man, like I could easily charge a whole lot more. We're not doing that for a purpose, right?
Yeah.
Just trying to spread the message. That's all. So,
it's a beautiful message.
It's a beautiful message, right? And so the really cool thing about getting on social media and starting to communicate with everybody that's been listening is it really kind of solidified the principles that we're about
Right.
and where we're going. Like
Yeah.
it gave us direction because I didn't give myself any direction. Like the people who listen to us, our customers,
They molded
fans,
it for sure.
They've molded all of it, dude.
Yeah.
Once you guys started coming out in droves and saying like, this is exactly what we need. This is exactly what we should be doing. And we felt the support. That support gave me, it was the catalyst to move forward and to continue to do it. Right.
And to really solidify the mission.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. Thank you everybody for that. And thank you for the comment,
Yeah,
Mr.
thank you all.
Mr. Kitty Cat.
Mr. Kitty Cat.
Luke Steele, 3276.
I also,
Sounds like
you already
ahead.
said it,
Yeah.
but I kind of want to just toss that in one more time.
Yeah.
I really appreciate people who can like put their opinions aside.
Yeah.
Like that. Like,
Yeah.
hey, like I don't like your shit, but that's okay because I fucking like you.
Yeah. Okay, check this out. So here's a good example. This is going to get everybody to fucking unsubscribe real
Hell
quick.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm dead serious.
Sweet.
You'll probably see unsubscribes on this video because of
We
what,
see
what I'm about to
We
say.
see unsubs every
podcast I know.
Yeah.
So here it is. My wife and I were talking about we just the conversation came up last night. I was like watching something on the Bin Laden files, and Obama came up on screen a couple of times. Barack Obama, former president, right? Came up on screen a couple of times, and my wife said, "I don't know why you don't like him. He was a good president." My wife is this is not what's going to make people unsubscribe. My wife is a liberal,
Right.
Right? I actually fucking like that. Because I constantly have dissenting opinion walking around living with me in the house.
Right.
It is not some fucking echo chamber. And I can actually really enjoy that. We get in some pretty cool debates sometimes. We get in some pretty I'm probably going to get divorced debates sometimes. No, but she said, I don't know why you don't like him. He was a good president. And
He's a smooth talker, that's for sure.
okay, so look, I looked at her and I said, listen, I never said he wasn't a good fucking president. Like, I just don't believe in most of the shit that he did. Right. I don't agree with his policies. I don't like the things that he and I put accomplished in quotes, that he accomplished in his, socialist agenda. There's a lot of shit that I didn't like about Barack Obama. But when you're talking about, was he a good president for those constituents that he represented? I think yes. I think he was a fucking great president for the constituents of whom he represented, which were like the fucking
Left-leaning types.
the left-leaning types, the liberals, people who wanted to institute a little bit more socialism in the United States.
Isn't it
people
weird
that
that
wanted to violate our Constitution? I mean, and allow that to be the barometer, right? I am not at all saying that I agree with the shit that he did.
Right.
But if you want to talk about like, look, Biden's just like another Barack Obama as far as the policy goes.
A little bit slower
Biden's a
speech.
fucking terrible president.
Yeah.
He is a terrible human being to represent our country on either side of the fucking aisle. The guy's a shitbag.
Right.
And he's falling apart.
Absolutely.
And he's a puppet.
He's a mental
I think
decay.
okay. So, but the thing is like, I can look at my wife and be like, look, I'm not denying he's not like, he was diplomatic, right? When it came to, people within the nation and other countries and things like that. There was some level of diplomacy there. He was intelligent, right? So again, here comes the unsubs, right? I'm not saying I fucking voted for him or that I would, right? But what I can say is, like, if you just take a step back and put your fucking pride and your ego and everything you believe to the side and look at the sector of fire he was in, wasn't bad.
He also,
Right? It wasn't bad.
if you look at it like this, he also won the election.
Right.
So there's that.
So he won the fucking election. The dude was fucking elected.
Yeah.
Love him or hate him, like that was your fucking president.
Yeah.
So, period. And I'm telling you right now, dude, I would give that dude another fucking 4 years back over fucking Biden. So tell me how you feel about that in the comments.
Yeah.
But
That's fair.
yeah, Biden's a fucking shitbag. God, I love America. I can say that. My
Yeah.
president is a shitbag.
And extra watch
And
list.
extra. All right. So,
Numero 2.
numero
Dos.
Luke Steele, 3276. That sounds like a porn name if I've ever heard one.
Luke Steele?
Yeah, it's a little too close to Lexington Steel. Do you know who that is?
No.
Okay. Well, look it up off
Later.
the company server. Guys, I
I'll
love
look it up
your,
right now.
I love your I love your spirit and values. Y'all always have something that I'm very interested to hear, learn about. I promise I know how to read. This is just tiny. I really wish that you would use less vulgar language. I know that I'm the minority here. Most people talk this way today, but I figured it couldn't hurt to mention it. You are both clearly well-educated and intelligent guys and are very well-spoken when you choose to be. Thanks for all the work that you do. Fair enough. So the only thing that I have to say to that comment is Will Smith don't have to cuss in his rap to sell records. Well, I do. So fuck him and fuck you too. Taken from the wily words of the great and late Eminem. Maybe not late, but great.
No,
Eminem.
he's dead. He died. He got super woke.
No, I appreciate you listening, Luke. This is an interesting thing to address because I don't know how to be myself on a podcast without just talking how I would normally talk in real life. It would prohibit me from just honest conversation with you and honest communication in general. If I had to like watch my F-bombs and talk a little less vulgar, it's just kind of innately who I am. And that, as a matter of fact, is why we started this podcast. There's a myriad of reasons why we did it, but one of the reasons is so we could just be ourselves and so people could get to know us. Right. And you're absolutely right, man. Like Luke Steele, you're right. I can articulate myself a little bit better and use larger, more appropriate, less offensive words when I put my mind to it. But it's also one of the reasons why, like, I don't go out and, go on, get on stage at some of these e-commerce events and like go to my daughter's school and talk to her class.
Right.
It's
a business.
I just can't, it's who I am. Like I just, and so I, respectfully, not to be, a simp or apologetic about it. I just I figured it for any of you out there who think the same thing, like, hey man, I wish you could kind of tone it down. I fucking can't. It's just who I am. You know what I mean? I just, that's it.
I was talking to Kingpix actually, and he was talking about how he never swears in his videos and he just doesn't swear in general. And I was like, damn, I really respect that. Fuck, I swore again. God damn it. Shit. Fuck. And I'm inclined to agree. There's moments in my life where I go through and I'm like, I really need to watch my language more.
Yeah.
And then Colton will walk in my office and I say, get the fuck out.
Right.
Just immediately. So and I agree with you. And I would go through and edit this out, except to edit every single F-bomb or curse word that we put in here.
Be a full-time job.
I would probably spend an extra like 8 hours editing the podcast.
It really would.
It would be. So we do appreciate you. We will try. I can give that. I will try.
I will not try.
He won't.
I will not try.
I'll work on it a little bit.
It's just because it's just kind of who I am. You know what I mean? I would try if I was gearing a particular message towards a particular audience.
Like if we actually ended up speaking to kids about the Second Amendment. Yeah.
Yeah. If I got invited out to a high school, or if I pushed, I would have to push for it to go to a high school maybe and say, hey, I really want to give a message about the Second Amendment and the importance and the respect towards firearms. I would obviously have to tailor my message, to be a little more. I'd have to wash it down a little bit,
Tone it, just a little tone back.
Yeah, what's the word for it? Cleanse it a little bit? Is it cleansing it? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Cleaning it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Appreciate the feedback, man. But I unfortunately cannot.
I am who I am, and I will not apologize.
Yeah, that's that. Tis what it is, man. Jordan Lester, 4354, new to the podcast, but has there been an update on the 2A Pro business courses? So if you guys don't know what the 2A Pro business course is, it is a course that I'm putting together showing you and anybody who is interested in starting a business around the Second Amendment, start to finish, absolutely from scratch, whether you own a gun shop or you already go to gun shows or you've never sold one single thing on your own life to include Facebook Marketplace. It is, I'm going to walk you through the journey, man. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to source a product, find a product, build a product, manufacture a product, sell a product, everything from building the website, everything from just how the whole business aspect works, avoiding all the pitfalls along the way. He's asking when it starts. here's what I'm going to do, man. I'm going to put a link down on this video. There will be a link on this video to the website that will eventually be where the courses are hosted and where the entire community is going to be held around these courses, because it's not just going to be the courses that are on here. It's going to be the community around it, which is, it's going to be a pretty amazing thing, man. I'll go into detail later, but the link will be just an interest list, right? All it's going to do is, like, if anybody's interested, you can go on there, first name and email, and I will provide regular updates on when this course is going to be launched. And I'm not going to lie to you, man. I've already decided to do this. I'm going to deep discount the course, probably 50 to 75%. For anybody that just wants to sign up, pay the money, get into it, and see the first 10 to 20% of the course. And then as I add modules, like, I'm going to add the modules faster than you're going to be able to get the shit done anyway. But because all the content's not going to be up in the course, I'm going to discount it pretty deeply. I'm not going to lie, man, it's going to be pretty expensive because I'm spending a lot of time and I'm going to be holding office hours every week. I'm going to be investing a lot of my own time into it. It's going to be a couple grand. Top line price, probably. Yeah. I don't know, maybe even more, but it'll
Anywhere
be discounted.
Like 2 to 5, maybe.
Yeah, probably $2,000 to $5,000, just depending on what it comes down to. But you got to understand, a lot of this is like done for you. Like, I plan on, like, even building every single person's fucking site out.
Imagine you're like, I want to build a business, and then you buy this course, and then a magical little Jake fairy shows up on your computer, and he goes,
much what it is.
Here, take my hand. I'll teach you how to do it.
Because the thing is, dude, I'm going to give you automatic access to any of my fucking wholesale accounts, any of my wholesale pricing. Like, it's just any of my contacts, things that have took me years and years and years to build. And I have to make the price of entry so fucking painful that, like, my current competitors out there aren't like, well, I'm just going to go pay the money and just see what he does for this. No, this is genuinely meant to help. This is genuinely meant to help Americans build businesses around the Second Amendment. And it doesn't, if you don't build a business around the Second Amendment, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Because
this is a business course.
This exact principle applies to anything. I mean, don't forget, I fucking sold baby onesies before I started this company.
Onesies to gunsies.
I literally, like, made baby onesies. So it applies. It applies to anything. But there will be a link that'll take you. It'll be probably something like teams.2apro.com. It's teams.2apro.com/sign up or something like that. Or, you'll see the link down there. It'll be name and email. You put it in, and I'll just keep you abreast of the situation and let you know when that pre-launch is out. Highly recommend getting on the pre-launch, because after that pre-launch, the fucking price is going to go way, way up. And the cool thing about being on the pre-launch too is you're going to help me kind of build that course out along the way. So as I add modules, you'll be like, yeah, but what about this? And I'll be like, really cool. I will actually do
good idea.
I will do a full thing around that one particular thing that you're asking. You'll actually have input on the building of the course, and I'll be able to work with you a little bit closer one-on-one, because there's going to be less people in it. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the answer to that question. Glad you asked. Thank you very much. Two-Way Procast, episode 19, Feed the Trolls and Rants. Scott Aker, 5534, says, just received my Battlefest Elite P3, K3, and side pouches yesterday. The quality looks out of this world. Took them to my bro because he served. He said he wished they had this kind of equipment overseas. When he saw that it was Tacticon, he laughed. He showed me his 300 blackout Tacticon scope sitting pretty right on top. Once again, well done, guys. Cool.
Thanks, bro.
Nice. Yeah. At first, I thought he said when he saw Tacticon, he laughed because,
and then it was just going to go whoop.
I thought he was like laughing at you because you bought Tacticon and not some Gucci gear, but it looks like he already had a Tacticon scope sitting right on top. Cool. I appreciate that, man. We will continue to do what we're doing.
Two-Way Procast, episode 18.
Two-Way Procast, episode 18. History repeats itself. Nolan's mad, and the internet is cancer.
Facts.
Donnie,
nothing's changed.
Donnie Tusho says, "Hey guys, I really appreciate the company and the content. The part I love most is the community that you're building. I live in a non-2A friendly state like you guys do in Massachusetts. We're in California. This guy's in Massachusetts. I'm waiting for my LTC to be issued, so I'm a newbie. My LTC. What the fuck is an LTC? Lieutenant Colonel? Is that? It must be like a CCW or some weird regulation or license. I can't even speculate what a fucking LTC would be. But it sounds like some Second Amendment violating license.
Cancer. My license to cancer.
License to cancer.
I don't know.
License to carry, maybe?
Maybe.
Oh.
There you go. Yeah.
Cool. Figure that out off
maybe.
the ground up. Also have 2 young toddlers, third on the way. I would like to know if you have any experience or tips on introducing and teaching gun safety and responsibility to young kids. I think it would be a great topic for a future episode. I'm not sure. I'm sure I'm not the only one looking for this kind of info. Yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely. So what I've noticed, the best way to kind of introduce children or younger kids, teenagers, your spouse, people who are not interested in guns going off in front of their face, because that's a scary thing at first, especially when people don't have the proper gun safety, or they're just a little unsure, a little lackadaisical about it. And a great way to bring them into it is airsoft, or like a Mantis system, lasers. Airsoft is fun because you kind of get that reaction. You can get a gas blowback. The gun's going to blow back. They work and function almost exactly like an actual handgun or a rifle if they're built well. And they're lighter, they're easier to use. So that is one great way to do it. That's kind of how I started. My dad got me airsoft guns when I was younger, and then I got a BB gun, shot cans in the backyard, shot little shotgun shells, and then he took me 22 shooting once I got proficient with that and I knew my gun safety, and it just kind of went from there. So that's what I would suggest.
And I will add to that on one thing. I think that is great advice. Obviously, you could start, even if it's a Nerf gun. I will tell you this: even if it's a Nerf gun, what I would recommend is, even at the very young age of having a Nerf gun or having an airsoft gun, right? I highly recommend teaching the principles and the fundamentals of firearm safety, even when they're holding that thing.
Absolutely.
Meaning, keep it pointed in a safe direction, which is typically at the ground. Do not point it at people unless you intend to shoot. So it's okay to shoot people with Nerf guns, but do not point that thing at me as you're walking around the house. Carry it down and out of the way, and you instill these principles at such a young age that the second you hand them a 22, they're going to do the exact same thing. If there's a safety function on that airsoft rifle, which
teach them how to use it.
Teach them how to use it and understand the importance. If you see them walking around with the airsoft rifle and it's off of safe, take it away from them and say, look, you're not going to get this for a week because you were carrying your weapon around and it wasn't on safe, or you pointed it at me, you flagged me, whatever it is. So treat even even a rifle that is not carrying actual ballistic ammunition. Obviously, the core fundamentals is you treat every rifle as if it's loaded, right? Every firearm as if it's loaded. So if you instill those principles in airsoft and Nerf, even if you don't have that Nerf, I guess it would be a Nerf magazine, a Nerf clip.
Some of them do.
They actually have clips,
little mags,
like real clips, like non-Second Amendment offensive clips. Yeah. By that I mean we hear clip and we cringe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're actual clips.
Yeah.
Right, like you'd find on a grant.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's cool. An account actually that we found the other day, the 2A Boys, I believe it is. Mm-hmm. Google some. I'll maybe put their name when I'm talking about this. It's this dad who takes his 2 younger sons out shooting, and they're super proficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
we watched that.
Yeah,
Holy
exactly.
Shit,
they're incredibly proficient. And so that would also be a good guy to reach out to.
Is that the kid that was running nods?
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah. He's got nods for his kids. They're running night courses. Reach out to him and be like, how did you do this?
That kid can outshoot most men I know, and he could barely walk.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty impressive.
It was pretty gangster.
All right. So 2A Procast episode 17, Veterans Day, strip clubs, and the internet. Can you guys, and this is coming from Base Life 2177, can you guys turn off the autofocus feature that's on the middle camera? Are you guys going to do the podcast? So that's question number 1.
First off, Jason, thank you for getting that comment, and I'm never having you collect comments again.
Hold on, there's more questions in here. Maybe there's something a little more irrelevant here.
I already did. Go fuck yourself.
Are you guys going to do the podcast about how to get into the industry? Yes, I just answered the question. He's talking about the 2A Pro course that we were talking about. This podcast is actually going to start gearing up a little bit more and more about business. We're still going to talk about the Second Amendment, but I really want to start talking about my journey through this process. And it's not going to be that way forever, but every once in a while, I'm going to inject a business podcast into this thing because I truly think it is important for all of us to get involved in the industry in order to protect it. So, yes, that's the answer is yes. I sent Nolan a message on Discord needing a little guidance on some things, please, good sirs.
Then I probably already got to you.
Yeah, I probably already got to you. Two-Way Procast episode 17.
Come in the water.
Come in the water? Question mark.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I can assure you this number one fact, or I can assure you this one fact. Nobody can outshoot any of these guys' gear. They sell perfectly adequate and good solid gear. All the Gucci shit is overpriced, period. Tacticon's gear is absolutely adequate for any civilian application. Side note, I put Tacticon's gear through a level of abuse it will never encounter in the real world, and I've only been able to break one item after dropping them multiple times from different heights. I bent the front flip up sight. All the other equipment is perfectly fine. Right arm, my friend, right arm.
Right arm.
I do appreciate you. The only comment that I would have to that is, we beat the shit out of and torture test everything that we've got. We use all of our own equipment. We run it. It's good. Thank you for the comment.
Yeah, there was a comment the other day. I think it was a comment about the flashlights, our battle torches. And somebody was like, these are wish.com flashlights. And if you ever have questions, if you ever have concerns about the equipment, honestly, go watch that last solar red dot review.
Yeah. Dude, you were beating the shit out of that
I've
thing.
had that.
Swung at it like a baseball bat.
Yeah, I've had that battle torch on there as well for the past, year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And it's still working.
Battle torch is the...
So go check that out, wish.com battle torch.
Yeah, I know. And everybody's like, oh, wish.com.
Yeah, go check it out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, go check it out. Because I don't think it would... We put a lot of care into the production of our products and the quality control of our products. Yep. I promise you that. And we test them and we use them ourselves.
And then we also back them with a lifetime warranty.
Yeah. So if something happens to it, then lifetime warranty, dude. You're good.
We got your back.
So
thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate those comments because it is good for people out there who either are just finding us or they're a little unsure because of the price.
Right.
Like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
They can see that and go, oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
These guys are trustworthy.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's really cool. Thank you.
It is. Yeah, Nolan torture tests his...
I torture Jake a lot.
He tortures me. He torture tests his products a lot more than I do mine. My version of torture testing is it's typically like waterboarding. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe we have that on video.
Yeah, we did a short on that. Toy Town Inc. 680 says, for 2A pros, are you considering a firearms market crypto like TUSC? I know nothing about TUSC, firearms market crypto. I didn't know that existed, but I will say this about cryptocurrency. I dabbled in it, invested clearly at the wrong fucking time, started losing my ass, downward trend, sold it all. I will never purchase crypto as an investment again, probably. It's just too fucking volatile. But what I will say is that crypto in general, I fucking love it.
It's a cool concept.
I love the concept of deregulated, unregulated for now, right?
Well, so hold on. Let me stop you right there.
Okay.
Because I agree. I fucking love that. Except now we've got too many players in the game and it's already basically regulated.
I know.
You've got so many people involved in Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the major players that are actually quote unquote useful as a currency.
Right.
You have China buying in massive droves. You have the U.S. government buying in massive droves. You have the, what is it, the FTC?
Yep.
Yeah, you have the FTC.
Well, you got all the major
putting holds on stuff.
All the major banks are investing in it. So
it's, as unregulated as it is, they can play the market like that already.
They can.
They've done it.
If you have that much influence on any one thing, think BlackRock, right? Then you can literally control one way or the other whether or not somebody's able to do a thing. So
I just want to put out there for the world, and I'll say this again in other podcasts, but both Jake and I would never, ever commit suicide, and we would never commit suicide by shooting ourselves twice in the back of the head.
Right. Which I think we say that every time the words BlackRock comes out of our mouth.
It's always going to be autoerotic asphyxiation. That's how we're going out.
Always. What did you say? What were you laughing about with Caleb the other day?
So I can't remember what it was, but Caleb and I were just at our wits' end.
Caleb's our graphic designer, by the way.
And we were losing our shit about some sort of launch. It was just going all sorts of fucky. And so we were making jokes about killing ourselves.
Yeah.
And we were like, we're gonna both choke ourselves on your doorknob and just beat off and choke ourselves to death. So when you get to the office and you open up your it's just us there.
It's just you hanging there with your cocks out and you are
dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
that's not going to be funny to anybody else, but me and Caleb couldn't stop laughing.
That'd be funny because I would post it to the internet.
Yeah, you'd just be like, look at these assholes.
Two-Way Procast, episode 17. The world is crazy. Are you prepared? Founding Fathers Understood. Hey, love y'all's content. How do I find the Discord? It's always in the link of the
down B-row
description.
Yes.
Two-Way Procast, episode 14. She-Devil, troll feeding, and what with a goat? To the guy who finds it cringe that civilians train and didn't volunteer to serve, I didn't volunteer. The U.S. Army paid me 2 times a month to honor my contract, and I could not quit until the contract was complete without penalty. Nothing like a volunteer. I am so confused. Do you understand what's happening here? Is he just National Guard? Is that what he's trying to say?
No, he's the U.S. He's in U.S. Army. So what I think he's saying is
U.S. Army paid me 2 times a month to honor my contract
so
and
I
could not
what
quit.
He's saying is it's not
2 times a month because it's paid bi-monthly.
Yeah,
Okay, it's not volunteer.
It's a job, I think is what he's getting at.
Oh, yeah. I see. I get it. Yeah. Now I feel like a retard.
That's okay. We are both of the retards.
I was like, I don't compute. The U.S. Army paid me 2 times a month to honor my contract. Yeah. I can see that standpoint where, and this is by Rod. Damn it, I want to give credit where credit is due here. Yeah. You volunteered to a contract. I get it. It's not free. You're getting paid.
Right.
It's
voluntary.
That's what we mean.
Right.
I think we're mincing words here.
Yeah.
I think we're mincing words.
We're mincing.
We know
we're getting a good cilantro mince.
Yeah. I think we're all pretty well aware that like it's a what's another word for volunteer? It's a at will.
Yeah.
Kind of like employment with the Army.
Like every job.
Yeah.
Except for obviously Amazon workers because they can't, they're forced to work for Bezos.
Oh God.
That's my favorite thing. I hear these people and they're like, well, Jeff Bezos is super abusive to his workers. And maybe he is. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But like
dude, there's some pretty fucked up
it's like,
work.
well then why does anybody work for him?
Bro, look. The measures of austerity within his warehouses are nowhere near the rest of the world. I suggest you just, I don't know, go to fucking Bangladesh and work in a fucking textile manufacturing for like a day and then tell me how bad it is to work for fucking Bezos. At fucking $22 an hour with full benefits. Oh, but I can't take a break to go get my water. Yeah, fucking whatever. Do you drink enough before you get to work? I don't know what the fuck to tell you, dude.
I've worked like 12 hours in a day without drinking water. Shut up.
Okay.
Take better care of yourself at home.
I don't know. Yeah. Or fucking quit, dude. Just fucking quit and go work somewhere else, bro. Yeah. Stop fucking bitching about, like, that's the thing that fucking kills me is these guys are like, oh, Amazon, it's just this fucking workforce.
That's the death of the American fucking dream right there.
Yeah.
It is.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, listen, to all of you, I guarantee you the fucking same motherfucker that's working for Amazon that is complaining about the austerity of the fucking conditions is also the one expecting that fucking package that they ordered same day to show up within that 2 to 5 p.m. scheduled fucking
from
time
a small
slot.
Business.
Same day from a small fucking business, right? So the same guy that's like, I just can't work in these measures. Their quotas and these things that they're requiring me to do to get these products out is the same guy that's like, where the fuck is that product that I ordered today?
Right.
Why didn't you? I ordered Prime now. Put that shit in Prime hand. Before. Put that shit in my hand before I even know I wanted it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're the same motherfucker. So, having said that, quit your fucking job at Amazon and go find a place to work that's going to give you, a water break in the location that you want your fucking water break. But stop fucking complaining.
Be an American. Pull yourself up. Buy your fucking bootstraps.
Stop being a bitch, dude.
Because here's the thing. Even if you're like, I don't have any other opportunity, you got a fucking weekend. Everybody's got at least one day off.
Yeah.
At least. Go take that day, go find another job. And then once you find that job,
dude,
you know another one.
You know an interesting fucking what a little fun fact of the day for all those that are in California watching this, but everybody outside of California already knows this fucking FFOTD.
An FFF, a fun fucking fact.
A fun fucking fact of
the day.
Yeah, we're really offending that fucking initial guy that asked us to not cuss less. We're just like injecting the F where it doesn't need to be inside of the acronym. No, but check this out. I just realized that my controller told me this, the controller for Tacticon, right? The accountant guy.
Yeah.
So he said, because I was like, man, like our fucking overtime is just killing me. We spent an extra fucking 10 grand this month on OT, blah, blah, blah. What do we do? Not this month, this pay period. Jesus. Yeah. He was like, well, I will tell you this much, man. He said, California is the only place that requires you to pay time and a half when somebody works over 8 hours a day. And I said, what? He was like, yeah, it's the only state. Now, I haven't confirmed this, but he's a pretty smart dude and he's a fucking licensed accountant. So I was like, wait, this is the only state that I have to pay? Any other state I could work them 16 hours a day and not have to pay fucking overtime? I'm like, yeah. Dude,
we immediately
my
bought
brain
land
fucking exploded. Yeah.
out of state.
Yeah. So, you know, for those of you who live in California and are employed in California, man, we've got it. Dude, people have it good here, man. Dude. Employees have it fucking good in California.
They do.
The only advantage to the employer in the state of California, well, there are two really. You do get some pretty high quality talent out here in the state of California. I will give it that. But the other thing that
because California as a state is pretty fucking sweet. California as politics is pretty fucking
garbage. It's a great fucking place to live, but the politics fucking suck.
Yeah.
The at-will status of the employer. So California is what's called an at-will state.
Right.
Meaning I could just wake up one day and fire everybody and not have to have a reason for it.
It's pretty cool.
I could just show up and be like, hey, everybody's fired. They'll be like, why? I'd be like, I don't have to tell you. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then again, it's a very litigious state. So you got to be careful, mind your P's and Q's, because if you do fucking terminate and they happen to be, you know, I don't know, like if you fire somebody that's not white, they could potentially come back and be like, "Oh, I'm not white, and you fired me. You hired me. You fired me because of my ethnicity." And California will actually fucking entertain the fact that, you know, maybe you did, right? So
yeah, it wasn't your 4 no-call no-shows.
Had nothing to do with your past performance. It had nothing to do with your actual
had nothing to do with the fact that you got arrested.
Yeah. All right. Having said that, we're gonna go into two-way Procast episode 13, a racing history. You're a violent extremist, and other BS. No, there was nothing.
There's
under that.
nothing there.
Never mind, nothing there.
Lies.
Two-way Procast episode 12, China, tyranny, and a touch of mental health. Here's the deal, says Scott Orr, 5758. If a quality product that performs a task required by the end user provides that user with a good or service commensurate to their needs, that is the only thing that matters. I've been running your Battle Vest B2 with AR500 plates in training now for well over a year, and not only is it holding up, I haven't ever noticed loose threading or Velcro curling at all. We do a lot of move and shoot with the lone proven. Fuck the haters. I'll spend my money on the ammo, make me better. Okay, we've addressed. Thank you for your good products. Thank you for your comment, but I didn't realize that was like literally the same comment, which is you guys have good products. This is not me just trying to like bolster the ego. I legitimately wanted to get in here and answer some questions. So, Two-Way Procast episode 11, fitness, mental health, and stoicism. Two-Way Procast, nope, there was nothing there. Two-Way Procast episode 10, feed the trolls. Two-Way Procast, RMA, Armor, NIJ, DCERT, what happened? So you jump on RMA about this situation, which they've provided plenty of evidence, but you haven't jumped on Shot Stop Ballistics for being served a federal warrant by Homeland Security due to their armor. Is it because you're possibly doing the same thing Shot Stop is or was doing? Wow. Okay. This is from CC-VG4ED. Listen, man, like I'm gonna make something super fucking clear here. Just because we have taken it upon ourselves to make some content around a particular situation doesn't mean that we're automatically by default in every other bad situation that we haven't covered, right? So jumping to the conclusion that There are other armor
That's
people
baffling.
in the armor.
How could that be?
It's just a weird argument. And there's, okay, so you've heard of all those like straw man arguments and right. Okay. So I wish I was better tuned with exactly what type of
argument this is.
What type of debate argument, right? That there's something that does clearly define this. If you know what this is, please get down there in the comments and let me know, because there is a certain type of debate argument that this would actually be able to be classified in, which is
it's some sort of fallacy.
It's a fallacy. Yeah. It's a logical fallacy.
Yeah.
That is exactly the word that I was looking for. So there are logical fallacies out there, straw man argument being one of them, yada yada. But this guy says just because I haven't covered every other debacle in the armor industry doesn't mean I'm automatically by default involved in all those other debacles, right?
Right.
So I know something happened with ShotStop. I haven't yet looked into it. I'd be more than happy to do so, but ask the question like that. Hey, do you mind covering the ShotStop thing? Don't automatically assume that I'm involved in some nefarious bullshit because I haven't covered it on the podcast.
Yeah. You know what you just did, my friend? You just silenced is violence. That's what you just did.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent of me saying, because you are not on the grand stage constantly talking about the Second Amendment and not constantly going out and telling people that they need to get involved in the Second Amendment and donating to the FPC, that means you're for gun control.
Right?
That's what you just did.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is it. What is the logical fallacy behind it? Because there's
a specific one.
There's one, and I remember, I just forget what it's called.
But to that effect, I tried looking up the ShotStop thing when I saw that comment. I couldn't find much on it. I've heard that. I would like to dig into it more, but I do want to say
I think I know what it was. I think I know what it was.
Hit me.
I believe, God, this is
Do you believe?
This is pure fucking speculation, right? But I believe it had something to do with ShotStop was saying that they were making and manufacturing the products here in the United States,
but
they were actually getting them, I think, from like I think they were getting them from like Mira body armor and then rebranding them or some shit, or they were just getting them from China.
I think
I think it was a sourcing problem.
Yeah.
I think they were telling everybody that, and especially, it doesn't matter if telling everybody, you're telling the police officers, these guys on the line of fucking duty, that you are manufacturing this stuff in the United States, but in fact, you are actually manufacturing them overseas and then selling them to police departments under the guise, NIJ certified or fucking not.
It's not very cash money of you.
No. There's nothing saying that you can't, source from fucking China and then go get an NIJ certification. It's very, very not recommended because you cannot control, like we control every aspect of the manufacturing here. So unless you're in control of that fucking manufacturing and then if you're not, and then you go get an NIJ certification, it's bad for, not good for you because you might fail and you'll never know why, because you don't have actual lot numbers that are being tested with. I think that was the premise of what that was.
Right.
And if that is in fact the thing, then no, we're not fucking doing that. We have a full manufacturing facility here. I have showed on multiple occasions, we've done walkthroughs. I've showed how we make our armor. I show how we make the tooling that makes our armor. I mean, we make the fucking products that make the products, right?
Yep.
We make the tooling that makes the product. So everything from the ground up here. I cannot just dig. I will answer your question like this. If that's what you think we're doing, CCVG4ED.
He's got erectile dysfunction?
I think he's got erectile dysfunction. You can dig in to some of our other videos and see the proof that we are actually manufacturing here in the United States.
Yep.
In fact, one thing that you can especially do is go to, if you want to check our NIJ certification, you can look at the label on the back of our plate and it shows the location of manufacture.
Yep.
So,
yep.
But there, in his defense, the very, very small defense I'm going to give him, I think that could have been what happened to ShotStop is you can technically get like maybe your plates pressed over there, but then finish the plates here, right? Put the foam on them, put the nylon on them, and put manufactured in the U.S. Yeah, super fucking dirty. And technically, Department of Homeland Security, I would assume, gets involved because this is protective wear for police officers.
Right.
But I know the FTC regulates what you can and can't say is made in America. And there are guidelines, there are benchmarks. It's basically like you go down a list. If like more than 50% of your product is made overseas, then you can't say it's made in the USA.
It has to be 50% or more.
Right, 50% or more, something like that. So
which is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, there's benchmarks for it.
It has to be at least 50%. So you could have 40, you could have 50% or 49% that is not.
Right. So technically, let's say they were selling a plate with ceramics. So let's say maybe they got their ceramics in the United States, but they actually had the polyethylene pressed in China using Chinese, material. They could technically, as long as the nylon, the foam, and the ceramic came from the U.S., they could press the poly and then consider it made in America.
Right.
Potentially, maybe. I don't know, but that's a better question for the FTC. Anyway,
and then to finish that out, primarily, we didn't hear a whole lot on it. And also with the RMA thing, I feel like it's mainly because they were trying to say that it didn't happen. I don't know if ShotStop is saying this didn't happen.
No, I haven't seen their response to it. They've been pretty quiet. I saw the initial allegations come out, and I haven't seen any response to it since, but I'd be happy to look into it and
absolutely
do a report on it so people don't think we're doing it too.
Continuing
on. Let's see here. All right, so 2A Procast episode 9, in-depth armor interview with Jake.
That's you.
Zachary Gabam 2437 asks, what are your thoughts on Kevlar sleeves for steel plates as a means to increase fragmentation mitigation?
I love the fact that
podcasts.
he had fragmentation instead of SPAL.
Clearly, the guy listens.
He fucking
to them.
listens.
Yeah, it's not SPAL.
Yeah.
It's not a SPAL sleeve. It's a fragmentation sleeve.
You can get a SPAL coating.
Well done.
Thank you.
So, my thoughts on Kevlar sleeves. I'm sure they work. I'm sure they're effective. I have not used them because we use a polyurea coating to mitigate the frag on our plates. But I'll bet they're effective. My thoughts on it are...
It's an added layer of security.
It's an added layer of security, for sure. Yeah. I think if that's something that you wanted to do, to throw that in a frag mitigation sleeve, I think you should. But I will say this, it is going to add bulk, and it is going to add weight.
Correct.
And it is going to add more bulk and weight probably than the polyurea coating will, because I can say this, I believe our polyurea coating adds maybe a pound, but any Kevlar sleeve that's fully encased like that.
Yeah, it's probably going to add another.
And by
like
Kevlar, I mean aramid.
Yeah.
Kevlar is aramid. So any aramid material is probably going to add maybe 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. Because here's what I know about aramid is the pound per square foot. It's fairly heavy.
Because it's dense.
Yeah, it's called aerial density. And so pound per foot on aramid, I want to say is could be 1.5 per square foot, and you've got almost a square foot on one side of the plate, but then you're talking about two sides of the plate, so that might actually add 2 to 3 pounds. Yeah, but that is aerial. Now we're talking aerial density for level 3A. So assuming it was, you wouldn't need to build it up to that, right? Because you're only trying to mitigate frag. You're not trying to stop you're not trying to stop a pistol round. But at the same time, I can't imagine it would be any less than 1.5 pounds, a couple pounds.
Right. It's most likely going to be 1.5 pounds.
Yeah. Which is going to be more, and it's going to be thicker and bulkier.
Right.
Than.
And if you're curious
polyurea coating
about the polyurea coating and
what
it can stand up to, there's a video that I released, armor getting shot at angles, and that should show you pretty well how good a polyurea coating will hold in fragmentation.
Yeah, amongst other videos that you've done that we've done demonstrating the polyurea coating, even not at angles.
Right.
So, yeah, the shit works. It just does. If it didn't, I wouldn't sell it, and I wouldn't make it. Terminus 591, super interesting podcast. Can you talk about cuts? When I get paid, I'm going to finally get AR600 plates. I'm thinking about getting the shooter's cut, but are there any cons to having the plate cut like that? Thanks for all the awesome info. Okay, so good question. Shooter's cut as opposed to a sappy cut. The reason why the military runs sappy cuts, not shooter's cuts, is typically because it just provides more protection. Right. So when you get into a shooter's cut,
they invest a lot of money in those guys.
Yeah,
they want them protected.
That's right. So shooter's cut is also synonymously called a swimmer's cut.
Right.
And what that does
is pop a photo on screen.
Yep. Pop up a photo right here on screen. And what that does is it gives you a little more mobility in your arms to allow you to swim, right? If one were so inclined, or to allow you to shoulder a rifle. That's
Right.
why it's called kind of a
Gives
shooter's
you a
cut.
little bit more movement in the shoulders.
More movement, more mobility,
Yeah.
but it also gives you less protection because you're cutting away that
Right.
protection.
It
So
comes to right about here.
right,
So
Yep.
you could potentially take a
lung
pop
shot.
to the lung.
You could potentially take a lung shot. So the reason why that SAPI plate is built in that shape is because it is full coverage over all your vitals on your chest. And that is why it is in the shape that it's in. The second you start fucking with that shape, what ends up happening is you start exposing possibly some lung tissue,
Right.
And opening that up to potentially get shot. But again,
Any
that's
armor is
why-
better than no armor.
Right, and that's
But,
why we
yeah.
do offer hybrid cuts on some of ours, meaning shooters cut on one side, regular SAPI on the other side. That way, your shooter's arm, you can actually get in there and shoulder the rifle. But I'm not going to lie to you. After some years of experience, I have realized that your plate carrier is going to get in the way one way or the other when you try to shoulder your rifle. So the shooter's cut. The other benefit of it is it's lighter, obviously, right? Because you're taking material off of the plate, so it's lighter and more mobility and the ability to shoulder a rifle.
Get fit.
Cool.
Yeah.
So if I were to recommend something, I mean, I just run SAPI. That's what I run, but to each his own.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we offer the products. It's not because that's why we offer the different cuts, not because it's something that I would use particularly, but it's because it's something that people ask for.
Yeah.
The market wants it. Two-way Procast, episode 8.
6.
Tacticon,
6.
episode 6.
Yeah.
Tacticon banned on Facebook. Masculinity influencers to follow. Happy cast, two-way Procast. And okay.
Yeah. Militia bad.
I'm really curious on this course about building the two-way business. Where do I go to find this?
Talked about it previously.
You will find this in the description to be able to go down and just sign up for the wait list. Steel City 77, thoughts on Brandon. Oh, this is a good one. Steel City 77, thoughts on Brandon Herrera, a.k.a. Jesus. A.K. Jesus.
Yeah.
Not
AKA
A.K.A.
Also known as Jesus.
A.K. Jesus running for Congress. Brandon Herrera running for Congress. Do you want to take this one? Go ahead.
Sure. I'll start the roll on this. Having someone that is so unapologetically based in the Constitution is a good thing. And someone who holds those values of fuck you, no, you're not going to take away my rights, you're not going to tread on the people's rights, is a really good thing. I don't know him personally, but from what I've gathered, it doesn't seem like this is ever something he ever thought about doing until it got to a point where he had enough influence and he was like, this is bullshit, I need to try and do something.
I love the fact that he was able to say, yeah, because let's be honest, we do what we can for the Second Amendment, you and I do.
Right.
But we all really do just kind of sit here and bitch about it. I mean,
Right.
we exercise it.
Right. We
train and we supply people with the gear and do those things.
Support the FPC.
But dude, he fucking got in there. We support the FPC, all that stuff, right? And so, but he was like, fuck this. I personally,
I'm going to change
as a man of value, am going to go in there and do something about it. And for that, I fucking can't.
Huge applaud.
There's a huge applaud for that. I respect it. I would vote for him. I think we need more people. I don't think like every fucking politician should be campaigning solely on the Second Amendment. We clearly have other issues in this country that need to be addressed, but we need some representation for the Second Amendment inside of Congress.
Right.
And I know Matt Gaetz is one of them, and he's definitely sponsoring Brandon Herrera really hardcore, and I love that. And the fact that Brandon's in there willing to do it, he has my full support.
Absolutely.
I can't, I think he's running in Texas, so I can't vote for him, but
he's got my soul vote.
He's got my soul vote. He's got my soul vote. That's what. So I think we need more cats like him out there, getting in there and getting involved.
Yeah. And then I would go down straight to 1 because we already touched on that.
Two-way Procast, episode 1, the last one. How Tacticon started. Background on Jake. Owner, I would like y'all to talk about the transition from a regular 9-to-5 job to being a business owner. How did you overcome the fear of not having a steady income, and what learning pains y'all learned in the beginning? Y'all are great and amazing. Keep up what you're doing. Okay, so
we got this.
The question here is
the transition.
The transition from a 9-to-5 job to being a business owner. Man, there was. I've only got a few minutes here, but I will do the best I can to talk about this transition. It's actually a really interesting story. I what I did, I'm just going to be completely honest here. It is not something that I recommend anybody doing, but I've just got to be honest about how it happened. So I initially started my business in baby clothing. I was screen printing baby clothes, boom, 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 doing that. I was doing it at night. I was able to keep up. But when I started Tacticon Armament, I technically started as Concealed Carrier LLC, and now we just do business as Tacticon Armament, but we were just making holsters in the garage. And what I had to do was, I had to wake up early. Keep in mind, I'm a husband, I'm a father, right? So I've got fucking kids. Like, they're eventually going to wake up. So I just had to get up really, really early. I had to stop doing anything fun. I had to dedicate my entire life to, I am going to make this happen. Right. Because the pain of working for somebody else, the pain of, signing the back of a paycheck instead of the front of a paycheck was, and never knowing when, really like never knowing when I was going to get ahead. Mm-hmm. Multitude of things caused me to make that transition into a business owner. So I had to make some sacrifices. I had to stop doing the shit that I really like to do. I had to start getting busy on things that I knew I needed to do and make the sacrifice and the effort. Now, I realized that even that wasn't enough time to get it done. And here's why I'm going to be honest with you guys. I would get all of my stuff done at my job, right? Because I worked, 9 to 5 as a commercial surety agent during the day. And it was kind of like insurance, but, not. And what I would do is I would get all my shit done by like 2:30, 3 p.m. so that I could have the back half, that last 2 hours of the day, just to kind of work on my own stuff, right?
Right.
Now, the reason this is wrong is because that's technically stealing from my employer, right? And I get that today. But I saw it as, look, I've got X amount of shit to do. And as long as I get it all done, I should be able to work on whatever I want to work on. That is not the answer, right? That is not okay. It's completely unethical. But that's what I did. And I didn't do it for very long. I did it over the period of a few months. But it just kind of bought me an extra hour or two every day as long as I got all my shit done. Now, here's what happened. Now, I was the manager of the commercial surety division at the time. And I had a bunch of employees that actually weren't getting all their stuff done. Mm-hmm. So I went to the owner and I was like, hey, man, like, we really need to get some sort of monitoring software on all these guys' computers because I think they're fucking around. And they were, because I could see them watching YouTube during the day. Mm-hmm. And I saw them they were on Facebook. And I wanted to keep them on task. So let's get some monitoring software on these computers so that we can make sure that we keep them on task and we know who's doing what.
Right.
Well, the problem with that is he put fucking monitoring software on everybody's computer, including mine. And so then he brought me into his office one day and he was like, what is Concealed Carrier LLC? I was like, yeah, how do you know about that? He was like, well, because it's, for some reason, like 3 o'clock every day, you're popping onto this website and spending lots of time on it. And I was like, yeah, that's my company. I started a company. And he was like, I wish you the best. Here's your final check. Via con Dios. Goodbye. Yeah. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. And rightfully so. But I'll tell you what that man did for me. It was the best thing. It was the best thing that has ever happened to me because I had two choices. I could either fucking go find another job and hope that this thing worked out, or I could just suck it the fuck up, dig into savings a little bit. So what I did was I went out and I got a job at a restaurant, right?
Yep.
I served tables at this steakhouse, and I worked at night, and it didn't cover the bills, but I did everything I could. But man, it lit a fire under my ass that during the day, I was absolutely 100% going to work on my fucking business. So if anybody's like, I've got some savings saved up and I'm thinking about quitting my job, and I say, fucking do it, because it worked for me. And if you've got a family to support, you will find your way.
Yeah.
You will find your way.
You got to keep that fucking fire lit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will tell you this, and the last thing I will say about this is that transition from a 9 to 5, I continued working at that restaurant. I just stopped serving tables. Like, now look, I've been in business for 9 years, right? I stopped serving tables 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It was like towards the end of like 2000, like it was in 2017, 18 sometime is when I
have to continue the grind.
You gotta, it's fucking grind, man. If everybody could do it, then everybody would do it.
The most you'll ever work is when you work for yourself.
Yeah, dude. And that was a major misconception that I fucking had, is I genuinely thought oh, I'm going to start a business and I'm going to have all this fucking freedom one day to do whatever I wanted to. It was the exact opposite, but I'll tell you this much and I'll leave you guys with this. I would rather work 100 hours for myself than 40 hours a week for somebody else any fucking day of the week.
Absolutely.
Unless I worked for myself right now, man. It's got to be a pretty good gig, right, Knowles?
It's got to be a pretty good gig.
Right on. Cool. Well, I think that wraps up the 2A Procast.
Pretty much. I want to add this to that.
Sure.
It was the same thing. When I started editing and started doing videos, I was like, sweet, because technically I was 1099.
Yeah.
And I was like, sweet, I'm basically working for myself. I can just get my stuff done, and then I don't have to do anything else. Yeah, I ended up editing every weekend, every day.
You do work all the fucking time.
I work all the time.
You really do.
But
that's why I had to put them on salary because it's time and a half here in California.
When you love what you do,
you'll never work a day in your life.
And with that,
oh my God, let me tell you this. God, one more thing.
One more thing.
Come on. One more thing.
Yep, you got it.
It is not fucking blowjobs and orgasms the entire time.
There are blowjobs and orgasms.
There are. Yeah. But I am constantly at fucking odds of like, I can't tell you how many guys. This is not all fun and games. I can't tell you how many times I've sat at my desk and thought, I should just fucking quit. I should just fucking quit. I do not like what I'm doing right now. I should just fucking quit. But then, deep down inside of me, I understand the pain of where I came from and understand why I do what I do. And I just remind myself that this, in this moment, is what hard feels like.
Right.
That's it. And with that, we bid thee adieu.